Greetings, one and all. Welcome back to Siege of the Empire, episode 11. I actually remember the episode, and that's not because I just looked. I actually legitimately remembered it. Aren't you guys proud of me? This session, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it fairly quickly, but we'll do our recap and everything, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, and we'll see what's going on with our crew. Hello, everyone.
Told you.
Hi, Jordan.
How's everyone doing? Y'all are fairly quiet today.
Yeah, no, we lost Will, and Megan is non-existent at the moment.
Will was here momentarily. I saw him.
Yeah, then he kind of dropped off.
He's back.
Indeed.
Student TM.
Sounds great. Well, I hope everyone has had a wonderful, wonderful week.
I haven't, but...
Jackson, let's play the game of What's in Your Mouth, currently.
Fries.
We need to know exactly from where.
McDonald's.
Oh, well.
Was that you having a heart attack?
No, that was me sticking a fry down my throat and triggering my gag reflex by accident.
Cool. It's pretty gross.
I think we can top that. I think we should just jump right into it after that.
I mean, I got some Subway pizza. It's pretty good, guys.
I'm about to get some Jack and Coke.
Did you just say Subway pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Have you never had Subway pizza before?
No, I can afford regular pizza.
Oh, that actually reminds me. I should order pizza. I think I get a free pizza today.
Today.
Mm-hmm. Well, while we wait for Will, let's find out how everybody's week has been going. Start with you, Dalton. How has your week been?
Pass.
Okay.
right.
Jackson, how has your week been?
I moved into college.
Hooray!
Yeah.
And apparently you fixed the internet.
Yeah, I did.
That's good.
I also had a very awkward experience today because I had intro to bio, which of course every single IT major needs.
Yeah,
in our life. Yeah, and our teacher is like a graduate student. She's working on a master's right now.
Yeah, she's a TA. Got it.
She was wearing a white shirt, and it's hot around here, and I could see her bra, like, full on, and it was, like, pink cuff, black lace.
Man, you need a girlfriend.
But hold on, listen. So that's actually a thing nowadays, and maybe our resident female in the group can enlighten us, but it's a thing nowadays to wear a white shirt and then purposely wear a bra that is visible underneath of it.
Like, it was flashy.
Yeah, no, that's like a thing. That's like a style that some women wear nowadays.
It is a thing,
I wouldn't know.
But not to work.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah. To work, probably that is bad form, but I do know that that's like a look that people actually attempt to achieve, not that it happens by accident.
I wouldn't know.
I'm not normally that type of pervy dude, but like it was like,
right? No, I know what you mean.
It was like so out there that I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, now you know you've learned something that some women are sluts.
I already know.
I had assumed that this was an unfortunate girl that made a wrong wardrobe choice.
Yeah, no, it's more than likely either she's dumb or it was on purpose.
A lot of people are dumb.
I mean, there has also just been a trend towards much thinner shirts, like industrialized.
True. Well,
so it could be you wear that or you sweat to death.
Yeah, sure. Maybe it was a comfort pick.
It's hot, but it's not that hot.
Who knows?
I don't trust you. You live south of whatever the parallel is that separates our countries.
Isn't the 39th parallel? Isn't that what it's called?
I'm in Arkansas.
I thought it was 49, but I don't know.
It might be 49. I don't know. Yes.
Look, I have no idea where Arkansas is, except that it's south of me and therefore wrong.
Okay. Therefore, it is too hot.
You know, no, I love that. How, like every single other country is like, oh, America doesn't know anything. Can you place all 50 states?
Hell, I couldn't place
Why
all
do you
50 states.
have 50?
Right, yeah, I couldn't place all 50
Because
states.
more is better.
And I live in the U.S. I could probably do a pretty
You
bang-up
can
job.
throw across
Yeah.
some of them. What's the point?
Man, I could place like 2 states, and one of them's Florida.
This entire conversation hurts me so much as an elementary school teacher. I can't
know,
even.
right? Like, I'm serious.
It's not that. It's just when you realize that you live in one state for your entire life, and then you realize there's 49 other states.
Well, let's be
How'd
fair.
you-
And I'm pretty
realize
comfortable with the other
anything.
states' locations because I
I'm-
have people all over the place.
I'm
so.
more than likely exaggerating because I feel as though if I look at the shape of a state, minus like Colorado, like the ones that are all perfect squares and don't have any variation.
Frickin' Nevada.
Right, I could probably. Oh no, I could name Nevada. Nevada's the one with the little slashy thing at the bottom. But like Arizona and Colorado probably are almost impossible to tell apart unless you see them like right next to each other or their approximate location. So I could probably name. I could definitely name. I think at least 48 of them based on their shapes, and so I guess that helps with placing them as well.
Okay, but I mean, anyone tell me an important difference between Idaho and Ohio?
Idaho grows
Ohio
potatoes, and it's also in the western portion of the country. Ohio is considered
Ohio.
part of the Midwest. It's also closer to a large lake that causes it to have varying seasons.
Also, Ohio has Mormons.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Ohio is also a red
Okay,
state.
so one of them's got Mormons and the other one has distinguishing characteristics.
Yes. Yeah. Idaho grows potatoes. That's all we need to know about Idaho ever.
Also,
See, we have a
Utah.
province like that, but it's just one tiny island.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. So here's a fun fact for those
You
that
said
don't
state
know
wrong
this.
just there.
Did you know? That's funny. Did you know that there are locations where people actually live in Canada that are ahead of Eastern Standard Time?
Yep, Newfoundland's half an hour ahead.
Newfoundland's. Yep.
What? Half an hour? What the hell?
They hate themselves, apparently.
Yes.
They
So,
are in a half time zone.
Here's what happened. Here's how I know this. Back in the days when I played World of Warcraft and I was in a raiding guild, one of our tanks, he lived in these said provinces or portions of these provinces that were an hour ahead of us when our raid time was. So he would always show up to the raid an hour early, and then he'd log on and he'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm not supposed to be here yet," and then he'd go away and then forget an hour later to show up, and then we had to like call him and shit. But yeah, that's how I learned about that.
That's what we call an idiot.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I've been to Newfoundland. They have a lot going against them. It's
Yeah.
boring, rocky. There's mostly just fish.
Yeah, and fish smell. That's basically it. Fish and fish smell. That's basically the entirety of the province.
Good stuff.
Brian, how's your week been?
You know, it's been pretty good.
It's good.
Going to the beach tomorrow. That's pretty awesome. And California beaches are so much better than East Coast beaches. For the most part. Not all of them.
Okay. I was going to argue with you being a Floridian.
Yeah, Florida's one of the few good East Coast beach states.
Panama City.
Got that going, so it's pretty good.
That's good. I don't know. I like the Gulf Coast and all, but it's too shelly. The beaches have too many shells on them. Prefer our East Coast beaches on the Atlantic side.
You
Main
don't
beaches
prefer
for the win.
Ocean City from Maryland, right? You don't go there. You
if-
don't go there.
Well,
You don't go there ever.
I like seafood, which is unfortunate because my significant other absolutely despises it, so I know it will never be made in my house, and that makes me really sad as a human being. But I love seafood because I grew up eating seafood, so I would totally go to Maine just to eat a bunch of seafood.
Okay, I didn't say Maine, but I said Maryland,
Oh.
which is
Wait,
Ocean City, Maryland is
you
not a
did-
place you can go.
You did say Maryland, didn't you? Anyway,
Yes.
I actually lived in D.C. for a long time, which is very close to Maryland, as you know. And so,
One would say.
Yeah. I did. I've been to a lot of places there.
Ocean City, as of late, is not a desirable place to go for Maryland.
I love how small you
Because the
make
water is contaminated.
Oh, okay. Just like all water actually is contaminated at all points in time. It's
To
just,
the point where it feels like you're wearing a layer of extra skin
well, that's
after
gross.
getting out of the water. It was pretty gross, and that's why we never go there now.
It's actually going to be great for the session, and you'll find out why. Anything else going on, Brian?
I don't know. Playing some World of Tanks. If you know what that game is, it sucks away your soul. It's pretty great.
I have World of Warcraft, so yes, I do know.
Yeah. And that's about it. Brian. Bye guys.
Jesus. Megan. Next week's back to school, right? Monday? Tuesday?
Monday.
Gross.
Back to school. I know.
You sound so excited.
I am super excited. Yeah, but I don't have kids till Thursday. So,
Who
got a
the
little
hell
bit.
starts the school week on Thursday?
The same one that starts one on Wednesday.
Wednesday even seems more reasonable because like 3 days of like paperwork and like getting to know everybody and that kind of stuff seems reasonable, but to only have 2 days seems stupid.
it's actually fantastic because it like eases everyone back into actually doing the whole school thing. So it's like you have 2 days and then you have a long weekend and then it's a 4-day week and it's like
Right, because it's also a
easy
holiday
peasy.
weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's not that bad. I don't know, I just feel like in 2 days you don't really have enough time to get all your shit squared away with the kids.
That's like that's public school in general, so
Okay.
you know, it's fine. It works out.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. How about our resident Canadian? How are you today, Liam?
Not doing too badly. Next week I'm going to be in New York for a cousin's wedding, so we'll share a country.
That's cool.
Stop it.
Stop what?
You know what?
I'm so confused.
I'm honestly not sure if I'm okay with sharing the country with a
I said
Canadian.
stop it. No, stop. No.
I don't know what's going on, but I kind of enjoy it.
I'm
Please stop.
Here I'll shift click for you so we can all see what I've done.
No, quit it. Stop. No. She's inactive. Give it back.
Anyway,
Jackson, wait, hold on, I gotta say something. Look at that. You killed off another character. Jackson.
I didn't do shit.
That's great. We have this running gag in my other campaign that is don't get attached because I'll just kill it, and it seems to be holding fairly true for now. We'll see. We'll see if
Please
it.
put Puck back in inactive.
Sure.
I have no comment on this.
You just deleted her.
Not technically. She's just in a different layer that you're not able to see.
I don't like this anymore.
Yeah,
I wanna quit.
so there's the key, right? Don't get attached. And speaking of, let's talk about what's been going on. I'm sorry, Liam, did you have anything else besides going to a wedding in New York?
Not really.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Did I have anything? I had something. Oh, no, I don't have anything yet.
Pain, suffering for us.
I wish I had something, trust me, but I don't have anything yet. So
Here, take this thing. Give Puck back.
we'll see. No, you can have that. In fact, let me I gotta make it so you can see his nameplate. There we go.
Fuck you, Dane.
Cool. So yeah. Let's see, did I do anything this week? Not particularly. I kind of had a boring week. I've been prepping a lot for today's session, a lot more than I usually do lately. So I may be a bit over-prepared, but that's great for you guys, because that's never a bad thing.
Never.
I'm excited and terrified.
You should be. Both of those things, I think. I recently got back into playing Dota 2 again, which sucking my soul away. TI6 gave me the bug, and now I feel compelled to play it at all points in time. But the one thing I still don't like about the game, Jesus, the games take so long. Oh my god.
How long does it normally take? Like what?
Between 30 minutes to an hour. Like.
Oh, okay, so a normal League of Legends game.
Well, yes, but you have to remember I kind of quit Dota for a while, and I was playing a much more casual game called Heroes of the Storm. And the Heroes of the Storm,
yes.
a 30-minute game is a long game. A lot of times
it's a really long game.
Right, yeah. A lot of times it's like 15 to 20 minutes the game is. And that's like perfect because I can jump on, I can play a few games, and I can get off. Dota 2, man, I play like 2 games and I'm like, oh my god, I'm exhausted. I'm done. Like, I can't play anymore.
The stories I could tell for you on League of Legends would horrify you.
Yeah.
The worst game was an hour and a half.
I've definitely been there. Like I said, I have like 1,600 hours logged in Dota 2, so I'm no slob when it comes to putting in the time.
I don't even want to know how much time I put into League. But
I am thinking I'm considering trying to do another Witcher playthrough this weekend tomorrow, since I actually have no plans. So I don't know if I'll do that or not.
I'm actually trying to get back into The Witcher 3.
Here's the thing that I have a problem with. I really want to get into. I want to do it right. I want to play The Witcher 1 and then The Witcher 2 and then The Witcher 3. I want to do them all in order. But I just can't bring myself to get invested in a character that's already a person, and I don't really have influence over him as a person. So I'm trying real hard. I think I just have to get into the mindset that I am Geralt, and that is the character that I created, and I'm going to move on with the story that way. But anyway, let's talk about Nuln, because you guys have
fucked it up.
Progression to go through, and I do not think Will is here yet, unfortunately. We'll see if he's able to make it back, but until then, I will, as I do always, play his character. So, last we left our party, you guys had survived some escapades with some certain things. I believe, Petrov, you received some letters from home detailing dark and cryptic things, as letters from home typically do. There were some conversations had about replying, some investments taken into how to progress the Morella popularity contest that was ongoing. And probably most importantly, relative to what you guys are attempting to do, we were able to the group of 3 ne'er-do-wells, Vi, Chester, and Farron, found a secret kind of cubby-hole place that Vi was somehow connected to via her beliefs. And the group of them had each found an individual clue as to something that was going on within the city based on what they were attempting to pursue. I believe Farron found where a location of his contacts, or where they would have been if they were not present, and Vi, you found or at least were given a possible location of the lair of the assholes. And Chester, you were given I'm drawing a blank. What did we talk about? What you asked for something and you figured it out. What was that again?
I think it was just what I got from the guy, and you messaged me that already.
Yes. Oh, right. Yes, I did message you that. Yep, absolutely. So,
pretty cool stuff, guys.
Upon the 3 of you returning to the abode, there were some heavy drinking and celebration going on, where we discovered that Vi and Chester can't hold their drink very well, and they ended up waking up inside of the oven in the bungalow you guys were in. But we awake at the dawn of a new day, and I believe everybody has something that they were going to pursue, at least in interest of. Probably, I think that the quest lines here now are meeting with Lady Appleton and tracking down the assholes in their lair and rooting them out, or at least surveying what was going on. And then obviously Farron has his contacts, which he'll, be taking Vi Chester's you've already met them, Chester. but you'll be taking probably Vi with you as well to get some more information, see what they've found out about what's going on. And then, obviously, like I said, I don't know, does Hannibal have any plans? I know that we were doing some Dane training.
Yeah, we were, but like I said, I'm gonna stick with Morella and
Petrov.
And Petrov probably for this whole experience.
Okay.
Because Morella asked me to do this, and I want to help her out.
Sure. So I think that since we'll leave the Will storyline to see if he returns. So the three of you, Petrov and Hannibal and Morella, you had delivered a letter to Lady Appleton and were awaiting a reply as to when you could possibly meet with her in reference to, things going on within the city or the Empire as a whole.
Right.
And I think that Petrov, you framed that letter as more of a official rendezvous, not as a social rendezvous, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that since the day has passed and the letter's been delivered, I think that probably at some point throughout the day, another messenger arrives at the bungalow. And who would be the one to go open the door? Understanding that Vi and Chester are probably, in the process of vigorously scrubbing the soot off of their bodies.
I'll go open the door this time around.
Okay. So you open the door, and you see a messenger there, and he's extended a letter that is addressed to Petrov. And on the back of it has the seal of the Appleton seal of Nuln.
Don't know who this is. Thank you very much, and I take the letter.
Yeah, I mean, he just assumes he's delivered it to the right location.
Good job, boy. And then I throw a gold coin at his face.
Sure, I think deftly he catches it out of the air, and he looks at it kind of wide-eyed, because a gold coin would be a lot more than he would be used to getting. And he gives you a low bow and slips it in his pouch and continues on to deliver the rest of his missives.
He will remember that.
Indeed.
Da, da, da. Hey, Arcady.
And rob you later.
Right.
Arcady.
I recommend not going into kitchen anytime soon.
That's cool. You got a letter, buddy.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
No problem. That'll be too gold.
Ask me about that later. I have no money on me at the moment, of course.
Alright, whatever.
Okay. So, Arcady, I assume you pop the seal and you open up the letter.
Yep. No reason not to.
Right, exactly. And the letter describes...
in your face.
It thanks you for your... It's written clearly not by Lady Appleton herself. It's written by, someone in her council or her scribe. It's not her hand. It's clearly, a male penmanship. And it's basically lays out that Lady Appleton will have a opening in her schedule today around 3 p.m. and that she would take the meeting in the courtyard garden inside of the keep. And if you just bring this letter to the guards at the front gates, they'll be able to direct you to the right location and get you in.
Now, I did make it clear in the writing the idea here was reconnecting her with Morella, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But I am expected to be there?
I mean, that depends. Would you have written it as if you were did you write it as a scribe of Morella, or did you write it as a, peer, and that you both wanted to meet with her? She would accept it either way. It's just based on how you would approach the situation.
No, I think at the time that he wrote it, Arcady would have been thinking that he wanted to be there as well.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Then you would absolutely be, as a representative, and, you guys happen to be traveling together, so, it's... You could have worded it any way you wanted to for it to be a combined meeting, or you're just representing Morella in some fashion, or perhaps Morella's representing your
Pretty
interests.
sure that'd be a conflict of interest.
Right, perhaps Morella is representing your interests and you are attempting to do what you can, right? Like, I don't know how much you gave away, probably not a whole lot, because that wouldn't be wise, but yeah, you will be expected to be there if that's how you worded it previously.
Yep, okay. Arcady will take that to Morella to, help her schedule that into her busy day.
Of drinking wine and eating, because you guys aren't really doing anything for the day.
Don't forget crunches. Thousands and thousands of crunches.
Right, yeah.
It's not crunches. It's Superman push-ups, because why not?
Push-ups. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to start doing Zohan, the no-handed push-up.
Exactly. That's a good movie, by the way.
I love it.
Anyway.
That movie.
So, I could imagine. So, yeah, Morella, you see that, you have a meeting set, and I think that the letter probably also describes the fact that she has probably about 30 minutes in her schedule for this meeting, so it won't, unless you were planning to do anything like drafting up contracts or anything like that, it won't happen. It's clearly just like a conversation that she has time for.
Right.
Yeah, no, and I don't think that's unreasonable given how quickly it happened.
Right, yeah. It's probably during, like, her lunch break or something, if that were a thing that occurred. Because, like, as the group of you know, she's currently running the city in the absence of her husband. However, no one is really aware of the fact that her husband is gone. Although, we do know that people... That was what you got, Chester. You got the fact that there are more people than I think even the Keep is aware that Lord Appleton is away.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the information that you received.
That is a well-known fact in the town.
Right, yeah. It's like, it's one of those moments where, like, okay, the castle's clearly trying to keep this a secret, so we'll play along, but we know the real truth kind of situation going on. Which, may show a number of things. It may show that the people are really dedicated to the leaders of this current town because they're supporting the fact that they want to keep privacy, and they're not trying to start trouble because of it. Like, why are you lying to us? They accept and trust that their leadership is doing everything in their best interest. But also, Chester, you received the fact that the weapon was also more well known, which is probably like the more significant fact, is that the dwarves built something or did something that kind of sparked this whole exodus off.
And it's something that I want extremely bad.
Right, yes. It's a crossbow without strings.
Crossbow without strings.
Yep.
Me and Chester have surprisingly similar goals.
Cool. So, the group of you, I think that probably Farron would probably come up to Vi and Chester, seeing as the three of you had such a grand old time. After you've washed and prestidigitation the shit out of yourself, and all the soot that was on you and everything, and kind of gotten over your massive splitting headaches, I think Farron would approach the two of you, who are probably together, and would mention to you that, last night, before you guys had arrived back at home, when you guys were still at that bar, the gambling den, he had discovered some information about where his contacts may be located, and he was wondering if you would accompany him to the location.
Without a doubt.
Chester?
Of course.
Okay. So yeah, I think he says, and I haven't really practiced my Irish, so I'm not even going to attempt it.
Do it.
No, every time I think I try to go Irish, I just end up Australian, so I'm not even gonna do it. It wouldn't do his character justice, I don't think. Give me Petrov any day. I can do that voice like the back of my hand. Yeah, he probably mentions to you that it appears they've gone underground quite literally, and they're hiding out maybe in some locations, and he says that perhaps if you go back to the location that you were at before, knowing this information, you guys will be able to actually figure out what you're supposed to be looking for, right? Because previously you were in this like old blacksmith that was kind of torn down and a little bit ratty, and you guys like looked around for a little bit, but you didn't really know what you were looking for, and I think you all rolled like under 10s, so
the worst ever.
Yeah, it wasn't, that was reflective of that, right? You guys essentially didn't know what you were looking for, so you couldn't find it. But now that you know what you're looking for, should be no problem. Should be pretty easy peasy to go and find what you were looking for without even having to roll for it. So I think that Farron probably approaches Morella, of all people, and like kind of lays out his plans. He's probably heard that, you know, you guys are leaving it to go do something, and he probably says to you, Morella probably says something along the lines of like, hey, I'm going to take Vi and Chester. We found another lead last night. We're going to go track it down, see if we can find out some more information on the assholes.
Yeah. She's probably just getting done with during her morning workout. As she looks over at Farron, I guess she gives like a small smile, and then it goes away. And then she's like, "Make sure the other two don't do anything more than that."
He probably says something along
Especially.
Yeah, he
Chester.
probably says something along the lines of, "It's why I'm taking them with me, so they'll have something to do and not be able, or not have, you know, free time to themselves."
Well, I didn't give them free time before.
We still found a way.
Right. I think that he says Farron probably makes a joke about like, yeah, that worked really well. We're gonna try a different method this time, though.
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah, and I think he gives you like a small nod and maybe a little wink, and he turns on his heel and walks out with Vi and Chester. And you guys head back over, and I'll move everybody over to Nuln so we can know what we're dealing with here. Pew! So it was over in the crafting district, over here in this general vicinity. Let me get over there on my one that has the green cursor. It's over in this area. In fact, I'm actually legitimately running out of colors. Let's see if we can get another color for this, though. We don't have a purple yet, do we? Perfect. Here we go.
Chartreuse.
The Sylar estate is purple, but I bet we can tell the difference.
Oh yeah, this is a much lighter purple color. This is like the color of the Twitch account. Oh man, but you cannot even see that thing. Okay, let's try. It doesn't matter that much. Let's do this pink color. Boom. There we go. That'll work. Alright. And this is the abandoned smithy. Wish I knew how to spell abandoned. There's only one N in there, I think. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Awesome. The abandoned smithy. Let's make that a little bigger so we can see it. Boom. So you guys head back over to the abandoned smithy, and when you arrive there, like I said, knowing what you're looking for this time, you guys start to like move away some dust, and I think that eventually, who's got the highest wisdom out of the, probably you, right, Vi? Out of the two of you? Actually, all three of you, since you're a priestess. I think that Vi, you probably, as you're like sweeping away some dust, you like hit like a metal ring that you didn't previously see before. It probably had like a little bit of grain like sitting on top of it. It was very well disguised, but again, you know what you're looking for now. And you hit a metal ring, and when you pull it up, you see that like the dust around it had looked settled, but when you lift it up, it doesn't really move a whole lot of dust. It's been very well concealed and is very easily open and closed without disturbing too much around it. And I think you open it up, and you see that it leads down into like this. There's a ladder that goes down into the ground. Looks like an old like cellar or something to that effect.
I think Vi opens it up and looks at Chester and says, "Ladies first."
Ladies first. Chester gets as close as possible to make sure he's seeing as well.
Okay. So do you go down first, Chester?
Yes, of course. I go down.
Okay. Yeah, so you begin like traveling down, and Farron is like he probably like looks at you for a moment, Vi, and he's like, the middle will probably be the safest, and he extends his hand for you to go before him.
Yeah, I would go. after Chester.
And I think he goes down, and I think he flips like a latch and goes to like pull the thing down. So Vi, you're actually kind of surrounded in darkness down here. It's kind of hard for you to see, but you're just climbing down a ladder. But there's probably like a moment of like Farron takes an extra step and almost hits your hand, or you take an extra step and you accidentally kick Chester in the face.
I cast light.
Accidentally. Chester can see perfectly in this darkness.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying
away.
Vi couldn't, right? So yeah, you cast light on like a pebble, or what do you cast it on? I guess that's a good question.
Probably just like a small rock of some sort.
Yeah, you just
pick
like
one
you
off the
pull a
ground.
rock off the wall or whatever, and cast light. And so now you guys have some light as you're traveling down into the darkness. And the ladder goes down probably about 15 feet, and then Chester, you hit ground. And Vi comes down behind you, and Farron comes down behind you, and I think that like it's that moment of like you all look up, and Vi like shines her light, and you can see there's like 5 people, all with crossbows. They're like pointed directly at you. As you guys like get to the bottom of the ladder.
There's nowhere to hide, is there?
No, and I think very quickly Farron like steps forward and like holds up his hands, and he begins talking to them. And Chester, I think you can understand Thieves' Cant, right?
Yes, I can.
And Vi, can you understand Thieves' Cant?
Less than Chester, but probably enough to follow.
Enough to know that it's being spoken, but perhaps not to know what the cipher
Mm-hmm.
is, right?
Less than Chester, more than me.
Yeah. So he begins talking like, and with Thieves' Cant, it's really weird. So he's like, fine weather we're having today. He's like, even down here in the darkness, the warmth of the earth bleeds through, and he begins going on, and I think like quickly like they start to lower, and he obviously is he's singing the song of his people, and yeah, they kind of like make way, and I think the Chester, you recognize him because you guys like enter in like a wooden door, and then inside of this wooden door it's actually lit up, like there's torches and all kinds of things, and there's a big like hearth fire probably, and it's a big like common hall, but you can see like there's cots, like a bunch of cots, maybe like the room is large. It's probably like 50 feet, so clearly it doesn't just extend like underneath this building. It extends like it's been dug out like underneath the streets and maybe the surrounding buildings as well. And it's a large, like, kind of grand hall. And when you guys enter, and it's lit up, I'm sure you put out your light, and you can see there's many men and women sleeping on the cots. Not all, like, thieves, though. A lot of them are, like, women and children who are clearly not part of the guild, because I'll just call it what it is. There's no sense in beating around the bush on it. So it looks like not only are all of the thieves here from the guild, but also they've brought their families here. Which I think for the two of you, for Chester and Vi, you probably notice there's probably like a darkness that passes over Farron's face, because this is not the way of things. Like, something clearly is wrong, or something is amiss for it to be this bad, for them to like pull their families from their houses and their homes and bring them into the safety of this location. And I think that very quickly, Chester, you recognize him, but it's a snake-faced man. He comes up and he greets you all. And he says, "Well, you have found us. It is fortuitous. We could always use stronger backs. Are you here to assist?" And I think that, like, Farron probably, like, looks at you guys like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, even I don't know what's going on here. And I think he turns to you, Vi, and he says, "A newcomer. Is this..." And he looks at Farron or Chester, like, kind of between the two of them, and he says, "Is this your wife?"
I wouldn't be making that joke in public if I were you. Just saying. And Chester looks at Vi very timidly.
I think that he, like, catches the tension. Vi, do you say anything at that point?
I think I laughed just at the word wife
Yeah.
in general in my name. I said, no, I'm nobody's wife.
He's like, yes. Well, we can always use more capable hands here. What brings the group of you down? And I think that Farron probably speaks up, right? It would be his place.
Yeah, because I don't know him at all.
Right, yeah. He probably says, listen, we first of all, we were concerned when we couldn't find you. And he like, looks, and he's like, judging by the look here, why are things so bad? Like, why have you progressed into this level of safety? And I think that, like, his head kind of falls for a little bit, and he says, these men you were looking for. And he looks at Chester when he says that, because you were the contact for that, right? He's like, these men you were looking for, they are more dangerous than we were aware. It's no fault of your own, but we have had to go into hiding because of them.
This is problematic, to say the least.
Yes, it's interesting. A lot of our, methods of travel through the city have been cut off to us. The underground, it's dangerous these days. This is one of our safe houses we were able to recover. And I think Farron probably says, like, what about the other safe houses? Like, surely this is not the only place that you have. And he kind of shakes his head. He's like, they come in. They must have entrances along the river. It's one of the few places we don't go. But in the wharfs, there are entrances lead into the sewers. That is where they are coming from. And Vi, you know that that's correct. Like, you know already that, like, based on the information that you were given and obtained last night, you know that the entrances you were given were along the rivers, or at least the approximate locations were along the rivers.
Great, because water is Vi's favorite. But yeah, so I would probably just confirm. I would say, yeah, that's what I've heard as well. Do you have any ideas of numbers of these men? How many have you seen?
I think, yeah, he kind of shakes his head, like, kind of shudders in disgust a little bit, and he says, not men. Would not call them men. They bleed like men, but they are not men. Words I'm searching for, it's as if they are copies, duplicates. They all look the same, have the same face. And I mean, Chester and Vi, you kind of know that, like, to be true.
Yeah, I was
right?
just gonna say, we're just kind of nodding along, like,
like that. That's
know.
a thing. And,
Yep.
and he's like, something is with them. It controls them, sends them on. They have a leader. I have not been able to find him, or we had to go into hiding before I could gather any more information. We must protect our families first. Guild second, friends last.
Of course, we understand. We appreciate anything that you could give us. And looking into it all, we do know how dangerous they are. Trust us.
Yeah, he nods and he says, numbers, perhaps 10, 20. Haven't seen many, actually. They work in secret like us. Sometimes numbers are not all you need. The element of surprise is quite a dastardly foe.
Oh, we are well aware.
He's like, strange. We sent some men into one of the tunnels. They said the water was strange in there. Something polluting it. One of our men came back. He seems like he had lost his mind. it took many hours for him to recover, and when he did, it's as if he had forgotten all of it.
He lost his memories from the water?
Amnesia, they call it. It's the only thing that we could figure. He was not captured at any time, but they ran out of supplies. They said they had to drink from the sewers.
Vi's just making mental notes the whole time. Don't drink the water from the sewer.
Image of Petrov doing vodka shots back at the bungalow. Yeah, and I think that, like he just nods and he says, also, and he looks to, like, Farron, because, like, Farron is one of those, like, interesting characters where he's part of the guild, but at the same time he's like the respectable face, right? He's like the legitimate side of the guild. And he probably says to Farron, he's like, I would not involve, well, you do what you will, but involving the town in this would not end well for anyone, at least of our volition. It may cause, well, we've heard that the church is putting up signs, making curfews. If they were to know that there were strange men underground, we would surely be hunted down and killed.
Side-eye to Chester, and then look back at him. And just say, of course, we will keep you and your men out of it.
He bows lowly, I think, and he says, thank you. Nuln has been my home for my whole life. I would rather not have to flee it, if at all possible. We can provide what help we may, but we are stretched very thin. They attack us with such ferocity and uncare for their own well-being. It's not a fight we are used to.
Can you tell us a little bit about how they have fought you? Is it magic? Is it weapons? What types of weapons do they have? Anything your men have told you?
The men reported hearing noises coming from the underground. Sounds of singing or chanting. As far as them using magic, no reports, but something is going on in those tunnels that is beyond our grasp. Do you know much of the arcane arts?
Vi holds up her two fingers as if to say, like, oh, just a little.
Yeah, just a tiny little bit.
What is much?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. And I think he nods and he says, the men reported tracings on the ground and walls in some of the locations. Perhaps they are arcane in nature, I cannot say. It is not my area of expertise. Ask me to cut a purse or a throat, that's where I'll be useful.
Understood. Thank you anyway for the information. I think that Vi would then kind of look over at Farron and Chester to see if there's anything else they wanted to ask.
Chester, he just looks a bit distracted in this place. He's just kind of looking around at all the people. It's kind of weird for him to see in the guild.
Yeah, so, right. And you being part of a guild as well, right? Like, this was Farron's contact, but arguably there's probably multiple guilds operating. And you kind of know, like, the habit, but this would be, Chester, like, it's more, the feeling in here is more like a refugee camp and less like a guild. If we can equate it to something that we know, it's, you know, there's kind of a cacophony of noises in here. There's children crying. There's probably, like, women using, like, kind of idly gossiping over some sewing needles. But it looks like a refugee camp. Like, if this were something that we saw in a different area of the world, there would be, like, some wagons kind of circled around and, like, a campfire in the middle and people sleeping in, like, sleeping bags around, but have clearly, like, got all of their worldly possessions that they can carry and brought them to this place. And that's kind of telling in the fact that, like, clearly, like, this guild has been beaten down by whatever they were involved in. Perhaps at Farron or your request. But, I mean, all guilds die eventually.
I love that subtle dig, like, Farron did it.
Right, yeah. Farron pretty much did it.
I mean, it might have totally been Chester's fault. Not that he's feeling any pain from that.
Right.
It's just weird seeing all these people here to him. He's used to this being a very solitary place, kind of everyone does their own business, and to him, he's kind of freaked out.
Yeah, sure, right, exactly. It's a little bit claustrophobic too, I think, in here. But yeah, cool. And I think Farron looks and he says, he like kind of just shakes his head a little bit solemnly, and he probably like pulls the snake-faced man aside to have like a private conversation with him for a moment, leaving kind of the two of you to just sit there for a minute. And if you just like quietly wait for him, then you guys can just depart.
I think Vi would just kind of quietly say to Chester, "This is much worse than we thought."
Yeah, this is... I don't know about this. Maybe Morella was right. I should probably stop killing some random people at this point.
You think?
Only a little. I only think that a little.
Vi just shakes her head, waits for Farron.
Sure. Yeah, and I think that probably that's a perfect moment for Farron to walk back up. He's like, he looks like a little bit more stone-faced, I think, that as he approaches, like, and he probably just says to the group, let's go. And you guys travel out, and I assume head back to the bungalow? Or is there any pit stops you guys want to make along the way?
I think Chester wants to go for a drink. Just like a little something.
Okay.
You know, we have alcohol still back at the house.
Do we? We didn't finish all of that?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm there's probably like a list of supplies that's delivered daily to the bungalow from Lady Sylar's estate, and alcohol is more than likely one of them.
Oh, then totally
Probably-
going back.
Probably not a whole lot of wine, though. The wine is suspiciously left out of the alcohol list, even if
Yes.
requested.
That's too classy for us anyway. It's fine.
Did you know that vampires exclusively drink wine?
Thanks, Jordan. It's
didn't
so...
Did you know that Jordan exclusively employs vampires as villains?
Yeah, actually, everything has always been a vampire, even if it
Yep.
looked different or used different abilities.
Little did we know that Umber Hulk actually had a taste for blood.
Yeah.
Deep
Absolutely.
down inside,
that,
he was
that
always
hy-
for Team
That
Edward.
Hydra, it was actually a vampiric Hydra, and it turned into
Yep.
mist and went back to its thing. So now expect to see it again at some point, I'm sure.
You remember? You remember those druid guys' friends?
Yeah.
Vampires.
Mini vampires.
Yeah, and the best part is that means that every single thing that you guys have ever killed is eventually just going to come back to life and seek you out.
I really do like.
I mean, I kind of expected that already.
that
The-
everything that we do, we're just killing vampires.
Yeah. The final boss fight after Arc 4, when you guys are level 20, is literally, I'm keeping a record of every enemy you've ever killed, ever, and it's just going to be that. It's just going to be wave upon wave of every enemy you've ever killed, ever.
Ah,
Clip show.
Right, exactly.
Da 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 da. Bring it on, Wolfsbane.
Exactly, yeah. Wolfsbane's coming back. Also, all the PCs, too. In fact, you're all vampires, you just don't even know it.
yeah.
Every
It's
single
just-
person's a vampire. They're like Blade.
Yep, exactly. Anyway.
Blotted out the sun with a black arrow.
Anyway. So yeah, you guys get back, and I think Farron very quickly like goes to seek out, like, probably calls a meeting of all the people in the house. But I think that it's probably like shortly like before the time that you're supposed to go to Lady Appleton's estate for the three of you. But they probably arrived back, because that whole encounter probably didn't take a whole lot of time, and they would have had time to get back beforehand. And so I assume that everybody like goes to the little meeting room we have in the bungalow and awaits for Farron. Yeah, I think that he probably is like standing, he's pacing a little bit, and he says to the group of you, he says, all right, we'll have to go, and we have to find these beasts, kill them.
Beasts, you say?
Yes, these individuals, they're killing my people.
Your people?
Yes, my friends. They're killing my friends.
That's no bueno.
No, and based on what they
So we know where
said,
to find them.
based on what they said, I think that it may be tied to these two's problems. And he like kind of head nods towards Vi and Chester.
Well then,
He's talking
we
about
killed
the
two birds
assassins.
with one stone. Maybe?
Yes, but
Okay.
this very big bird.
I feel like I'm gonna get some more samples.
Not Chester, bleh. Farron. Do you remember the size of that hydra? It died.
Aye, but not all things that are big are dangerous. Just like not all things that are small are weak and puny. And he like head nods towards Arcadi
I wave jovially.
with his 24 damage rapier at his hip.
Only 24 damage. But that's not the point. Morella just probably like nods and she's like, fine, we'll deal with it at some point.
I think Farron kind of like runs his hand through his hair and he's like, aye, the sooner the better. I'd rather be done with it and set those people back to their lives. And also, we should really get out of the city. Ever since we've come here, it's gotten worse and worse.
I know, but there are things we need to do. And you've just added on to that list. So,
He says, well, technically, if this solves the assholes problem, it was already on the list. I'm
Right.
providing a solution. We are providing a solution. And he kind of like
course.
includes Vi and Chester in that.
right.
So, yeah, so essentially he's saying, obviously, I'm sure you all gathered it, that, you know, we should go deal with this. This is something that we should do at least sometime before we leave the city, and rather sooner than later, so that, you know, his friends don't keep getting picked off in the streets.
Right. Morella kind of like looks over at Petrov and she's like, well, I believe we are having a meeting with Lady Appleton today, but I believe afterwards I should be free.
Yes, I imagine you all want to stretch and kill something after lunch.
You think that I'm a murderous maiden? No. Although I do enjoy a good fight, I don't enjoy
Not a
killing.
necessary murder, but justifiable the murder? Yes. Yeah, you see, you take satisfaction in job well done.
She kind of like maybe like looks off in the distance and thinks about it, and just gives a solid nod.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
I
surprised
do.
that you haven't. Surprised you haven't. I've traveled with you for a while now. I'm surprised you haven't come to realize this about yourself.
Well, it's not
Now-
like
I am still unclear. Do we know exactly where we are finding these men or multiple copies of one man? Not totally sure what's going on there. Very creepy.
Right. Yeah, I think if you're addressing that to Farron, he like looks to Vi.
Yes, we have a fairly good idea. We might want to scope it out while you're at your social call, though.
Oh, do you not wish to join us? I give a smirk.
Tragically, I did not include her in the invitation because I forgot what name she was using in this town.
Vi just goes, oh, darn.
Snap your fingers. Oh, darn. I don't really have to go meet the stuck-up countess.
Oh, snap. I need to introduce myself. Yeah.
Snap.
So yes, scope area out and possibly acquire materials in case we need to demolish location, yes?
Also try to find an alchemy set.
Same thing.
For different reasons.
Okay. I mean, you guys could arguably spend an entire week preparing if you wanted to. So you'll have time to go, like, purchase an alchemy set if that's something that you want to purchase.
I have no money.
Well, that seems like a problem then. That you should fix some
it's
other
always,
way.
Yeah, I mean, how could we ever acquire money besides selling our bodies?
Gross.
Not in that sense, Irv. We have skills
that
can earn money.
I mean, I'm not sure there's
Hannibal's a doctor of sorts.
I'm not sure there's another way to take that.
I could totally dance well too. I could be a stripper.
Well,
a horrible stripper.
Was not going that route. Was hinting at it, but was not going at that route.
Okay. So,